Jordy. So guys, I'm excited. This is absolutely one of the best experiences of our lives. This is the last show of season 7. We made it. Thank you so much for rocking with us. I mean, we're grateful for that. But because it's the end of the season, we decided, me and my co-host Georgie made it through a whole season. I kept him around for an entire season, right?
Yeah, thank you.
He barely didn't make it on some of the shows. I was like, if I don't kill this guy, but he made it with us. And you guys supported him, and I'm appreciative of that. But this is the last show, so we wanted to just do an update, just us talking, because that's how it started. It started with us just talking about what he thought was sexy.
Right.
And that's how our relationship started on the show. But since it's the last show of the season, we thought we'd just catch up. So, George, how has this season been for you as the co-host?
It's actually been great. I've learned a lot. I do appreciate the opportunity. I also have enjoyed just the fact that people appreciate what we do.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of different formats out there, and there's a lot of different things but I think what we do is authentic. There's nothing scripted, and we may briefly talk about what we want to do on the show, but it's actually authentic. So, you get the real me, and I know I get the...
I am transparent to a fault, and sometimes that gets me into trouble, but I think there's so many people pretending that it's almost refreshing for just two people to just like, hey, this is stuff. So I thank you for noticing that in me, because clearly you have been yourself. So I want to talk about, how has it been? We started out in season 6. We started talking about, how online dating is. And I know one of our conversations that we had offline, you were saying just because of social media, things have just literally changed.
Right.
So let's talk about what our projections are going forward. Do we think old school dating is a thing of the past?
Yes, I do. I think that old school dating is a thing of the past, primarily because of social media and the accessibility to people. I remember growing up that you didn't have access to people 24/7. You couldn't instantly take a picture, upload it, and millions of people see it. So just the fact that you're accessible now, just the fact that many people can view you and have access to you, that it's changed. And so with that being said, even if you're dating someone and you're having a bad day, there's always that guy, that woman online that can cheer you up with I like your picture. And so that can skew the dating process.
Let's talk about that, because we have talked about likes and views and, selfies and that gratification of people. Do you think that right there is probably or do you think that's one of the factors that literally hinders relationships, no matter if what type they're in, new, old? What, do you think just the fact that other people are viewing inside your life?
Right. And it can. They're not viewing inside your life, they're viewing photographs. So getting to know that person and viewing a photograph are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Just like we just had a person on the show previously that, they talked to them online, but they never met them in person. You could be a totally different person online. We're in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Everybody has a platform. Everyone has a voice. Everyone can be whoever they say they are temporarily.
Okay, so I learned a lot of things in the last couple of seasons, and one was trying to be more self-aware, because I can be absorbed in my own world.
Yeah.
And seriously, that's why I'm about to kill him. And but just trying to be more self-aware to be a better person, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be single for so many more seasons, or even if I am, I want to at least be a better person for me. So have you learned anything about yourself in the past couple of seasons?
I have. I mean, okay, this is working, this doesn't work. And I truly believe that the more authentic you are, the more people will not like you.
But that's not a bad thing. I think sometimes
that's fine.
Separating yourself from the pack, if you will,
right.
I think will be I mean, because, we had the professional on the show, and one of the things that, doctors, lawyers, whomever, executives, they have a problem because when people find out what they do, they actually change. They begin to want or expect certain things. So are you saying if the more authentic you are, you kind of separate yourself because you're not pretending to be anyone else? Because can you sustain? You can't even sustain that for a long time.
You can't. And that's where they run from a relationship because they're not able to sustain a lie.
Yeah.
So, and I think, the more authentic you are, like I said, and it shocked them.
Yeah.
It caught them by surprise. And I think that it's going to get worse. I mean, I think with online dating and the way that society is set up right now at this point, online dating it's the way to go, but it's not the true authentic person a lot of times.
So I know we had talked about, moving from online dating to actually meeting in person. And you had talked, I think season 6, about when you get to actually see a person themselves. That's when you get to not the person on the phone, not the person on the video, or not the person that you saw on Instagram. It's when you get to actually see that person. And what I've found is that people really can't converse. They have a tough time with a conversation that's not self-centered. And that was shocking to me because it's like, we can't always talk about superficial things. What do you feel about religion or raising kids or grandchildren, whatever the conversation is? And I attributed that. I think you're right about social media. We're really just caught up in these pockets of time instead of, in today.
Just think about it. The pictures we take are called selfies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you talk to someone, y'all can talk about me all day, every day, because I know me.
I'm sure.
But I don't. You know that. Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, you do. And so really there's very few people that actually know me, that I actually have a real conversation with.
Yeah.
And I don't have these quasi conversations about nonsense. You know that. I don't have these if it's not a conversation about something real, I don't even indulge in that.
Sometimes it's best not to say a whole lot at all when people are going through, because you can mean well, but you can say the worst thing trying to be deep and trying to be retrospective. So, but for what could somebody who's going through something say to somebody and say, well, you just got to kind of move on?
Oftentimes they're uncomfortable with where you are, and that has more to do with them than it does you.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
People will share their testimonies and stories about having purchased a home. And then they'll pull equity out of that home and maybe purchase a duplex. And then they'll rent that out and start making more money, and they're taking equity out of that and they're buying a small building that has multiple units. Could you kind of bring that to life for us a little bit?
Yeah, even though you have a house, if you have equity in it, you can utilize that equity to go and do other things with it. Don't look at it as being overwhelmed. I tell the entrepreneurs, just have a partner like a realtor that knows the steps, and we'll be there to walk you through every single step of the process.
think it's wasting time too, and the access to people. Like you would be talking to somebody in California that you probably wouldn't have, or New Mexico, or in another country that you wouldn't have access to, and that may or may not give people a false sense of value or worth. Not that we're diminishing anyone, but locally, can you have a conversation?
Right.
Can you go to your local bar, your sports bar, and just meet somebody there that you're not hid behind a phone or a laptop or a desktop? And that's what I think for the people I know, the ones over 40, that's what's missing.
Yeah.
I mean, because people will jump in your inbox and literally almost ask you to marry them, like on site. You're like, what is that?
And then they ask for your account number 30 minutes later, right?
I actually did have somebody ask me for some money, and I was like, sir, and no. But I thought that was odd, because it's like you said hello, and if I responded just back with hey, it went to you're so beautiful, and I can't believe you're single, and I need to take you off this site, and we need to go. And it was weird, because that's not.
You know they have templates, right?
Yes.
These guys, these women, I don't know what women have, but some guys have templates, and they have automatic responses to whatever you're going to say, and everything is built to stroke your ego.
Right.
So there would be anything that they would say that wouldn't glorify you, tell you how beautiful you are, how intelligent you are, what nice dress you have. It wouldn't be anything anything that they would deem to be average. So if you say, okay, if you say someone has a nice picture, okay, if they send you a picture and you don't say anything, they shook.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. Okay,
well,
this man didn't flatter me.
Well, it will not just be one picture. It's like, why would you send somebody 10 pictures? And that took me a little bit of time to get used to. It was like picture after picture after picture after picture, and you're like, you ain't even that cute. But they were sending all these pictures, and I was just
why
what?
Why you say that?
What?
Why you say that person was that cute? They sent the best they had.
Okay. I was talking about my experience and with my eyes. And so, but then I noticed that was the trend. Like all of these pictures, I just thought that was odd. And then it was almost expected for me to do the same. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And so that was, I think, the hardest part of meeting people online for me, was the cadence of it, the scripted part of it, you know, I'm going to just start with poems and all of this stuff. And it's like, but you don't know me, don't know what I like, dislike. And then if you don't respond, you get nothing after that, because they've gone on to the next person.
And what's happened after you met them in person? Have they been who they said they were online, or were they immediately like, okay, we're going to go out? Sometimes, I mean, I don't know about you all, but I mean, that's what I prefer. I prefer interaction. I prefer to meet you face to face. It's talking on the phone, this video chatting nonsense. No, men don't even use the word chat. If I hear a man say the word chat, I'm like, oh, what's wrong with you? I mean, we don't even talk that way, So it's just a lot of nonsense.
It has been interesting. I mean, but what are we going to do? I mean, because like I said, I'm new to Georgia. I don't know a lot of people there, but I've found very few people that I want to interact with over and over again. And I told y'all my trick. So if I pay that first dinner, I'm not going out with you again. I just feel like that's it for you. That's the clue.
Okay. That's rare. I mean, I guess that would be a cue, or that could just mean that could be the opposite. That could mean that they really like you.
I said for me.
Okay.
So I'm talking about date one. If it didn't go well and I'm not going to see you again, that's what I'm going to do.
But would you tell them it didn't go well?
I don't know if
that's the
I
problem.
haven't gotten to that part yet. So, okay, so this is we're updating, which means I still got work to do. So hopefully in season 8, I will be able to effectively tell someone that it's, you know what, this was great and thank you so much. But I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, yeah.
So what are you going to work on in this off season?
I'm going to work on, I guess, actually evaluating a date first. I mean, because if I go out and do something I enjoy doing, I don't care if I don't, you know, if I'm doing something I enjoy doing, I don't really care if you had a good time or not. We could spend time together. I had a good time. You go your way, I go mine. But if I'm actually planning something and go out and not only spend a ton of money, but spend a lot of time planning it, and I didn't have a good time, that's different. So I guess my thing is I need to actually screen people better before I even go out on a date or even spend time with them. Because I've went out on dates, people I know it wasn't going to work. It's just that I just wanted to have something to do with,
Yes,
you know.
I have done the same thing. And you just almost was like, for me, I could have stayed home.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like, oh my God, I have nothing to do. These people worrying me to death about going somewhere. And so you go, and then you're like, ew. And
Yeah.
so I really think that I need to value my time better.
Yeah.
And I'm not as lonely as I thought I was.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with going out with someone if you just know for a fact that you just, okay, give someone a call, say, look, I'm going here. Would you like to join me? That could be a date, but they know it's probably not going anywhere after that. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that, but as long as they know it.
Okay.
You know,
well, I need to continue to work on that in the next season. So, guys, we're just wanted to tell you what we were doing. We thank you so very much for rocking with us for 2 seasons now. Hopefully, we'll make it for a couple of more. But we want you to understand, and you know, I talk about this all the time, and I know that George feels the exact same, that your life is not over at 40. Because we're grown. We're good and grown.
Yeah.
Somebody might even think we're sexy.
A few.
A few. We're single, and we're over 40, but we want to live the best versions of our lives, and we want to continue to evolve and get better and learn about ourselves and be open to whatever life has for us. And we hope to see each other next season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And we hope to see you guys next season as well. Let us know what you're thinking, your thoughts, how you enjoyed it. What would you like to see next season?
Right.
Because we want to bring you
That's
things
important.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's important to you as well. Because you might get to follow us on a date or so and see how we interact with people. And that might be pretty fun to do. Get out of the studio and get in the street a little bit. But we just want to thank you so, so very much. Hope TV, you guys are amazing. There's something for everybody on Hope TV.
Right.
I mean, there's all kinds of shows, and they're actually adding new content every single season, new hosts every single season. We want to let you know that what you're looking for, you can find it on Hope TV.
Right.
So this has been my co-host for the season. This guy, I'm telling you, he's a great guy. I really appreciate his feedback. And of course, my name is DeShannon, and this is
George.
And so follow me on social media. My social media, everything is DeShannon Speaks on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Also, DeShannonSpeaks.org is my website. If I can help you there, please reach out and do so. What's your social media stuff?
George Hendricks, and I have another one. It's Houston Hendricks.
Okay.
And then LinkedIn is my main profile that I actually use primarily. And then I've got Instagram. It's BlackMan2Envy.
Okay, so that's all on the screen. So guys, thank you so very much for rocking with us. We appreciate you so much. Until next season, this has been Grown, Sexy, Singles Over 40. We'll see you next season.